Hey guys, TGKS Productions. For this G10 Live video, we're going to be discussing how you can unlock the Street Crimes Colored Gangs tee. So before we go any further in this video, keep in mind that a lot of times when Rockstar does events like this with unlocks, when they promise to deposit these unlocks or rewards or awards into players' accounts, a lot of times they are very delayed on depositing these unlocks and rewards into players' accounts. So just keep that in mind when we go over the date that Rockstar is supposed to deliver this to players' accounts. It may be delayed, so just keep that in mind. In order to unlock this tee, you have to complete an exotic export list fully, which is located inside your AutoShop property. Now, if you're not sure how to receive this exotic export list inside your AutoShop property, I have an intro and beginner's guide that talks about this, so definitely check out that video. Let's go over how to complete this exotic export list and even some tips on how to complete it, because I think a lot of players can agree that this list can be somewhat challenging to complete. So this list always has 10 vehicles you have to find, and sometimes you may get lucky and you have one vehicle that NPCs will just drive around that spawns pretty frequently in free mode. Other times, and in my case, you may even have a full list where all of them have to be found with these random blue dots that spawn, and they spawn very randomly in free mode. So first off, when trying to find these exotic export vehicles, I recommend going in a closed friend session. This way, you don't have to deal with any players griefing you. The exotic export vehicle lists don't have the possibility, I guess, of the spawns getting messed up. In fact, you can even compete to find these exotic export vehicles. So, if you find one of these, it's going to pop up on the map. For other players, they have the possibility of stealing it and delivering it themselves. You don't want to be dealing with any of that. So definitely go into like a closed friend session, solo session, invite-only session, crew session. That way you don't have to deal with any other players. And once you're in a lobby, for the hide options tab in the interaction menu and then under other, ensure that you have the air freight options showing. And this is thanks to GTA series for figuring this out. It's most likely a bug considering the air freight activity in GTA Online is tied to the smuggler run hangar business, which really doesn't make any sense why it would be tied to this exotic export activity. So hopefully Rockstar will fix this in the future or change this, but do ensure that this is showing, because if it's not showing, the random exotic export vehicle blue dots will not pop up. You will not be able to find them and obviously deliver them to complete the exotic export list. Now, for these random exotic export vehicles to spawn in free mode with blue dots, there's 100 different locations where they could spawn. And I'll actually leave a link in the description of someone on the GTA forums that pinpointed all 100 of these locations. From here, what I recommend you do is getting a very fast plane, preferably a jet, to fly around the map to try to get these exotic, or trigger these exotic export vehicles to spawn. I like using the Hydra, one because I own it, two because I can land it vertically. You don't have to use the Hydra if you have any of the very fast plane from like the Smuggler's Run update, like maybe the Pyro or the Nakota. One of those fast planes, you could use that. You could even, if you don't own any of the fast jets or planes in GTA Online, you could even steal one from the military base. If you happen to own a hangar up there, you could steal it with just a 2-star wanted level, which is nice. I don't recommend going out and buying a plane just to get this t-shirt. I think that'd be a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, some fast planes could get you around the map. I mean, yeah, you could use the CEO Buzzard. You could use the Sparrow from the Kasatka submarine. But none of those aircraft are going to get you around the map as quick as a jet would. Because essentially, you want to fly over those 100 locations, and a lot of them are in the city. A lot of them are even up and down the highways, up near Sandy Shores, Paleto Bay. You want to really focus on those high volume locations, because that, by flying over those locations, you're going to have the best chance of getting one of these exotic export vehicles to spawn, and then from there stealing it, delivering it to the docks or the terminal. Now you do want to be flying relatively low to try to get these to spawn or trigger them. You'll notice there my minimap just flashed. A blue blip popped up there, and when we hover over it, it's going to say exotic export vehicle. From there, we're going to land, we're going to steal it, and then once we enter it, which I believe we got the Benefactor Krieger here, we're going to deliver it to the docks. And once we deliver to the docks, we get $20,000, a certain amount of XP, And from there, we'll have 9 more vehicles to go. So that's essentially how that works. How you get these, as far as the blue blips that spawn in free mode, that's sort of how they work. I'd say most of the time, from my experience, the vehicles are always parked, but definitely fly relatively low to try to get these to trigger to spawn, because obviously if you're flying too high, they may not spawn. So just do keep that in mind. You see here, that is the first vehicle, the Benefactor Krieger. We have it crossed out. So if you go back to your auto shop, you notice that when you deliver a vehicle, it'll be crossed out. And at this point, we still have 9 more to go to complete the exotic export list. Occasionally, you may get a blue blip to spawn, which is actually a guard which holds a key to El Rubio's desk on Cara Perico in order to get the Perico pistol. It could definitely be a pain to get these to spawn, especially if you already had the key and you just want to get these exotic export vehicles. But what I have heard from other players, it's better to just cancel this event out. Just, play it out anyway. Loot the guard. In fact, if you already had the key and you loot the guard, you're going to get $7,007 anyway. So at least you get a little bit of money for doing it. That way it sort of cancels the event out, and that might help with getting exotic export vehicle to spawn. I'm not 100% sure, but just play it. You get a little bit of money out of it, and just keep going about your business. And flying around the map trying to get these exotic exports to spawn. That's part of the reason why I like the Hydra, because I'm able to land it vertically, and then I could just obviously take off again like a helicopter. But if you don't have that, don't worry about it. If you're in something like a laser, you may even want to just try killing the guard with the cannons. I'm not sure if you can lock onto the guard. I haven't tried that, but maybe just kill the guard. That might cancel the event anyway, just so you can sort of keep moving on. You don't have to jump out of your jet. I'm not exactly sure if that'll work. I usually just get out of the Hydra, kill the guard, but that's something you may want to try. Just give that a shot, and like I said, just cancel that event out so you can maybe have a possibility of getting exotic export vehicle to spawn. But to be completely honest with you guys, my friend and moderator, Messi28, we ended up really helping me out with these. For some reason, he was able to get these to spawn a lot better than I could. We're talking like almost back to back to back. I mean, he was getting them to spawn in extremely quickly. Now, one thing I did do that may have helped a little bit was Rockstar automatically reset my cache, which essentially, when you hit the black screen when you're loading into the application, at least I know on console, right before the splash art comes up, if you hold both R1 and L1 at the same time, it'll reset your cache. Now, when that happens, I guess it clears a lot of like unimportant files or data, I guess, in the game that just isn't needed. So when that happened, I was actually able to get these to spawn a lot better in GT Online. I didn't test in depthly, a bunch of times, but I did actually get 4 to spawn within an hour. Bottom line, whether you have a friend helping you, whether you're doing this by yourself, this is going to take probably at least a couple of hours, if not longer. This probably is going to be a little bit of a pain. I'm trying to give you my best advice on what to help you with as far as how I was able to find them. My friend did help a lot. You may want to reset your cache. That may help because it seemed to help me when that happened. But pretty much all the tips I'm giving you in this video, I'm just trying to help you as much as I can as far as how I found the vehicles and how you can find and complete this exotic export list. But it is a grind nonetheless. There's no doubt about that. The last tip I'll mention in this video, my friend mentioned this to me. If you find a vehicle in one area of the map, maybe the city, don't go back to that exact area. Focus on maybe a different area of either the city, because there's a lot of spawn locations in the city. I'd say the majority of them for these exotic export vehicles, the majority of them are in the city. Maybe focus on obviously a different area of the city, or even Sandy Shores, Paleto Bay, just to maybe have a better chance of spawning, because they're likely not going to spawn in the same spot back to back. So you may want to try that. I'm not saying that's a foolproof method, but it may be something to try. I believe all in all, I ended up finding 2 cars. My friend found 8. But definitely if you're having trouble with these, try to reset your cache. Follow the tips that I talked about in the beginning of the video as well. You can try to do this with friends. That may help. Now, if you are doing it with friends, you may sometimes get a vehicle to spawn that maybe you already have, but your friend doesn't. So that may also happen. So maybe a little bit of conflict there as far as trying to get the vehicle that you want to spawn. Unfortunately, you do have to grind a bit for this, especially considering that, again, as I stated in the beginning of this video, these exotic export list resets every 24 hours or 1 real-life day. And for me, I live in the Eastern United States. That resets at 2 a.m. So if you time convert that from the Eastern United States at 2 a.m. to your time, you can figure out when it resets for you. It's basically the same time the daily objectives reset. So if you know what time the daily objectives reset in GT Online, you should know what time these exotic export lists also reset. But in any case, that's really everything I'm going to say in this video. I'll show you me collecting the rest of the other cars. I believe I have around 6 at this point to deliver. I'll show you that. You do get an award, or you actually get a bonus $100,000 for delivering all 10 cars. So you get $200,000 in total, a chunk of XP, and then also if you complete an exotic export list, you'll get a Pro Car Exporter award. There's also another award tied to this, but that's for delivering 100 exotic export cars, which will take a good amount of time to complete. But that's really all I'll state in this video. Unfortunately, you do have to grind for this one a bit, but if you do, you will end up getting that special top. The last thing I'll mention in this video is that players should expect to receive the Street Crimes Color Gangs tee within 72 hours of logging in on August 9th, so basically August 12th. And again, keep in mind that Rockstar gives us this date. If they're late, don't be surprised. I would give it at least 5 to 7 days. If you don't receive the Street Crimes Color Gangs tee within 5 to 7 days, then I would contact Rockstar support. I would give it at least 5 days to a week before you decide to do that. In any case, guys, that's pretty much everything I have to present to you in this video. I am going to show you me delivering the rest of these cars, and you'll also end up seeing that other award that I was talking about, where if you want to get platinum, you have to deliver 100 cars. I believe it's the Car Exporter Award. It's going to be coming up here shortly. Also, once I deliver all 10 cars, I will get that bonus $100,000. You'll see me get that Pro Car Exporter Award. And then, obviously, at that point, I'll be eligible to unlock the Street Crimes Color Gangs tee. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it extremely beneficial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share it, and have a great day.
Babe, what's up?
Just off the phone with these niggas in the D. You know, I'm still pressing records, baby.